Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Neeru Tandon, Department of English, VSSD College, Kanpur. We are discussing the paper on English language teaching. This particular module, teaching English language through movies, it is very interesting one. Okay folks, let's watch movies. Learning and teaching will take place later on. Wow, sounds so good. Away from the monotonous, dull, boring textbook. Watching movies, some sound, some songs, some dialogues, some action. Great. But beware, I am going to teach you. The teaching will take place simultaneously. Teaching English language through movies. How, why, and taking movies as a teaching tool. Let us discuss all these things in this particular module. Movies are synonyms for videos as far as this module is concerned. They are used for teaching English language and they appear as good teaching tool and very helpful to explain concepts to the class. But when we take the case of tiny tots, we cannot solely rely upon it, as they need individual attention and involvement in the learning process. Adult learners, they can watch the videos which are already recorded for teaching purpose. They can be benefited by it, just like this e-Pathshala video. You are watching it and you can get the benefits just as a classroom teaching. But tiny tots, they need something more than that. So let me make it very clear when I say teaching language through movies. Most of the time what I mean that we are teaching or taking care of the adults in mind. So reasons why learning English with movies and film works. Number one, you will get to learn real English, not textbook English or bookish that we usually call it. Now, what is the real English and what is the bookish English? Real English means the English that you use or you hear in everyday situations outside your classroom, outside your textbook. While in textbooks, perfect grammar, perfect sentence construction, disciplined thing that is there in the textbook and the boundaries are there and you are supposed to be chained by that. So the English you learn through textbooks or in ESL class is not what you will hear people say. For example, in beginning English classes, you might have learned how to say it's 6:45 or it's raining cats and dogs. While these are correct, we almost never say these in real life, in ordinary life, in day-to-day conversation. In contrast, the English spoken in movies is very natural. It's also very close to what you will hear if you speak with native English speakers too. This will help improve your spoken English. The second point is that you learn English words in context. Various researchers, they are of the view that just teaching words or just teaching vocab is of no use. A student will learn that and will forget that easily. So, first, the second thing came, then what to do? Words should be taught in phrases. It means with the use, with the sense, with the meaning. Then, it was not also the best use. Then it was concluded that the context should be there and in a particular atmosphere, in a particular background, the words should be taught. This is one of the best aspects of watching movies. Let's say that you like watching cookery shows. After watching 10 or 20 movies based on that, or videos based on that, you will start to learn vocabulary related to the context or subject of cooking. Various spices, like what do we call hing in English? Yes, yes, yes. And you come to know it's asafoetida or anything for that purpose. So easily, and you remember also that then that is the mnemonic technique, that in particular dish we use this ingredient, and then you just keep on learning, and every day when you will use it in your kitchen you will learn it. Whenever you will eat it you will just remind of that. So usually when we learn words traditionally, we study things like vocabulary list. Who 2 billion words are there? How to learn that? Better leave it. But in context, you can easily understand, remember, and use them and make them their own, your own. The problem with learning new words with vocabulary list is that you can learn what words mean, but not where and how they are used. Next point is you hear how things are said. Means you not only learn words, you also come to know about the pronunciation. You also come to know the mouth movement, how to pronounce that particular word, how to use it. In English, people often say that 30% of what we say is expressed through our words. So what about the rest of the 70% folks? Well, the other 70% is all about how you say it. You know, things like your expressions, like a smile or a frown, and your tone, your voice, your intonation, like either you are angry or you are sad. So it just appears, reflects through the way you say. So you can guess how is usually more important than the what to English people. Let us talk the direct relationship of movies and English language teaching. The conventional method of teaching English will not always work, but the ideas and creativity of the teachers and inclusion of various teaching tools will certainly make the learners concentrate and achieve the desired language competency effectively. Now what happened if teacher is teaching only that thing which is written in the textbook? Learner thinks, especially the adult learner thinks, I will purchase the book, I will go through that and then write down that in examination hall. Simple. Why to go to colleges? Why to hear the boring lectures? No need. So let us give them something in the classroom that they cannot get otherwise. Let them come to the class, let them be glued to the class, and the relationship between teacher and learner should be established in the real way. Movie is one such tool or activity through which English can be taught to the SLLs in an effective manner. Many teachers show movies in the classroom because they understand that this activity ensures that students learn pronunciation, vocabulary, modulation, and delivery of words in an effective, enthusiastic, and entertaining way. The positive effect of films on language learning was discussed in many research papers by researchers of repute. One such researcher is Stoller. He points out that films extend the range of classroom teaching techniques and resources and not only enhance but also diversify the curriculum. Some films are so good that they force you to read that particular book. They just invite you that you should go through the complete book. The film scenes can make it easier to teach abstract themes and concepts because of their visuality. Also, inexperienced students can benefit from films because of their greater feeling of reality. Alan also highlights the realistic examples that the films enable. Combining both audio and visually charged material makes film a comprehensive tool for language teaching. This visuality also supports the students. It helps learners by supporting the verbal message and provides a focus of attention while they listen. Films are supported by researchers because it is a flexible tool. Rather than just verbally discussing text, showing movies to teach is a better option. According to Stoller, films are a flexible tool for second language learners and instruction since they add an extra dimension to course design. And they assure a rich variety of language and cultural experiences. Additionally, films expose the students to authentic target language, speech forms that are not normally encountered in the more restricted classroom environment. The more realistic language often also motivates the students to participate actively in film-related activities. You must have seen in your arena that the moment Harry Potter as a film was released, more and more students and kids who have not gone through the books also, they went to see the movies. After coming from the movies, they were so keen to read the books. And then they tried to learn those words because without learning those words, they cannot experience. Now they understand what the word means because they have seen it in the movie. But what are the actual synonyms, antonyms, and the meaning of those words? Now they are interested and now they can find out. So that is the magic of the movies as far as English language learning is concerned. Let me discuss the study of Mishan. In 2004, he published this study and said that in order to keep the language classes enjoyable and relaxed, instead of making the students passive while watching films, it is important to plan the task carefully beforehand and also to check the learner's knowledge of the vocabulary and topic. When the students are familiar with the topic and the vocab of the film, it is easier for them to focus on the film as a learning experience as well as an entertaining experience. Now, what he meant by that? It's a two-way process. The one that I discussed previously, that a student who is not a very avid reader will go to the movie, watch movie, and then maybe he is interested in reading the particular book. Here what this researcher is saying, that is vice versa. That when you use movies as a teaching tool in the classroom, then don't just let them see the movie. What you are supposed to do, that first explain the context, what are the various words used in that particular movie, what is the theme of that particular movie, discuss that, show them those words, then the learning will start while they will watch the movie. Movies in different areas of language teaching, what they do. While learning with the help of movies, learners deal with the audio-visual text and goes beyond simple background study, and it becomes imperative to reject the historical approach which advocated simple repetition of safe and received opinions about text. Beck said, I quote, "Audio is an important part of any project. It adds personality and customization through music, narrative, and sound effects." Unquote. What are the various advantages of using movies in teaching English as a second language? Firstly, movies can be considered as authentic material and they provide the learners with genuine input, said by Mishan. The genuine input helps the pupils to understand that there is a connection between the more traditional classroom teaching and the real world, and that the foreign language is used in real everyday situations outside the classroom, said by Gibbard. Moreover, as Krishan pointed out, a natural input helps the learners to acquire language without necessarily even noticing that they are hearing or reading a foreign language. Various aspects to consider when using movies in EFL teaching or ELT. The responsibility upon teacher is manifold. It is his duty to choose the right movie for the right learner. So choosing the movie is one important aspect. Then you will have to check the copyright matters, whether you are free to show that, use that in your learning process or not. Then the teaching environment and the proficiency level of the learners. If they are tiny tots, then it's better if you show them a cartoon movie. But if the same movie you are showing to adult learners, they are not going to enjoy or learn something. So, it is the duty of the teacher or instructor to choose the right kind of movie for the right child or right learner. Stoller points out that the use of films and videotapes requires attention, and the teacher must play an important part in an effective film lesson in order for the film to be more than just a time filler. It is also important to remember that the films are neither a substitute for the teacher nor instruction. In addition, it is the teacher's responsibility to promote active viewing, and the film should also promote active participation from the beginning of the lesson in order for the students to be more than just passive listeners and watchers. Secondly, it has been studied that films enhance English language skill development since they bring variety, reality, authenticity, and flexibility into the EFL classroom, and before anything, diversify the curriculum. Thirdly, using movies can motivate the students to study English, and the visuality of the film may also help the weaker students to understand, since it offers another channel of understanding in addition to just listening to the language. How movies are used in 5 different areas of language teaching, that is teaching oral communication, teaching writing, teaching vocabulary, teaching grammar, and teaching cultural aspect. Let us see one by one. Before that, tips for learning English through films and movies. Choose an interesting movie. Movie should match the current English level. Bring the dictionary. Repeat short phrases. Discuss important points with the peer group. That is for those learners who are choosing for themselves. Now, come to the point. Teaching oral communication through movies. When teaching oral skills, it is important to notice that textbooks usually focus on more formal language and do not focus on, for instance, small talk or conversational interaction. Movies, on the other hand, can be a good way to teach these skills needed in everyday speech, since the language used, for instance, in contemporary movies can be rather up to date and can thus motivate the students. Moreover, movies can also rouse feelings and opinions and create discussion. Thus, for example, different types of group discussions or debates can be useful assignments when practicing oral communication. Now, how to teach writing through movies? When teaching writing, movies can provide new ideas and bring variety into the classroom. Since writing is a rather complex productive skill and several different aspects need to be taken into account when teaching it, it can sometimes be challenging to make the pupils interested in it, said by Kachin. What do I mean that you can teach writing through movies? Of course, listening, yes. Of course, speaking, possible. But how teaching? How teach writing? Suppose you have shown a movie in the classroom. The students are interested. They have seen it. Now you can discuss the characters with them and then give them assignments based on that particular movie. You can tell them to write a film review. You can tell them to write a summary, or imagine that you are such a character, write down dialogues. That's it. This is the way you can teach them many things with the help of the movies. Now, how to teach cultural aspect? Using movies is generally highly appropriate for teaching cultural aspects. The textbooks can give a rather narrow picture of the English speaking world, and thus it is important to present the pupils also other English speaking cultures than just the British and American. Teaching vocabulary. Movies are the best way to teach vocab. Movies can be useful because if the goal of the teaching is to provide the students with communicative competence, it is good that they hear contemporary language and more informal discussions as well. This makes it possible for them to pick up, for instance, phrases or expressions that they could actually use in an English speaking environment. Moreover, movies can be a good way of teaching vocab related to certain themes. It can be easier to practice, for instance, restaurant or shopping situations with the help of an example provided by a movie. Now, just see this one line from the movie, Hindi movie, Tanu Weds Manu, second part. Now, the dialogue is, Tanu says, क्या शर्मा जी, हम थोड़े बेवफा क्या हुए, आप तो बच्चलन हो गए. Now, when you say in the classroom, क्या शर्मा जी, हम थोड़े infidel क्या हुए, आप तो ignoble हो गए. Now, this is practically, you have taught them two words, infidel and ignoble. Infidel, that is unfaithful, and ignoble, that is person of low character. So this is just a way how you can use various vocabulary and various words through movies, through clips, and you can just teach them, like you can take the help from advertisements. For example, there is the example, you can take for example the advertisement of Kurkure, and the catch line is Tedha hai par mera hai. And when you say, generally students will forget how to translate it, what to do, how to speak it in English, what is the word for Tedha over here. And when you say Auri hai par mera hai, AWRY, it's permanent for their memory. As many times they will watch this particular ad, they will not remember Tedha, but they will remember Auri. So whenever the word Auri will come, they will associate it with that particular thing and they will retain that word in their memory. So what's the harm in teaching them in a way that is interesting, both for the teachers as well as for the learners? I am going to show you a movie clip. Jab we vocab, that is the name given to this particular clip. I am sure most of you have seen the movie Jab We Met, starring Kareena Kapoor and Shahid. So in this particular movie, some pics, some dialogues have been taken, and with the help of that, various words are shown and taught. So this is just an example how you can make your own video, any film you can take for that matter, any word you can take and then make it your own, or you can even give it as a work to your students that they can have their own video of their choice. Just see for an example how to do it. Jab We Met, that is the name of the film, and it is called Jab We Vocab. Now see that the phrase is down in the dumps. Now how to teach that down in the dumps? Like Shahid is down in the dumps, feeling very sad. He is going, anybody can make it that he is sad. So when you look at him, you feel, even without knowing the word, you may say he is sad, but you want to teach your student down in the dumps. Another word is garrulous. Garrulous, very talkative. Now just listen this.
सब कहते हैं मुंबई बड़ा क्राउडेड है. अरे क्राउडेड मतलब क्या? क्राउड हम जैसे
What
लोगों से
Kareena is
बनता है.
doing, talking and talking and talking uninterruptedly. So Kareena is known for her garrulous nature. So she is garrulous. So you have just taught that word to your students. Catharsis, purgation of emotions. So Shahid is cathartic over here, purging of emotional tension, coming out. Just this clip shows Shahid's cathartic act. Resplendent. It's a very good word that you can use for a very beautiful and charming woman. That means great beauty. So Kareena is asking over here, क्या मैं तुम्हें resplendent लगती हूँ? And the word used, exact word used in the movie is mast. Prelude is something that happens even before short piece of music, especially introduction to a longer place. So this is the way that you can use, you can make that, write down, take that particular scene or word. Not necessarily you are translating a word, rather you can give an expression to certain, you can say that whatever the situation is. So this way misconstrue, to understand somebody's words or actions in a wrong way. So there are various words you will just learn by watching this particular short piece of movie. Viewers, you have seen that how any movie for that purpose, may not be English, even Hindi or any movie for that purpose of any language, can teach you the words, can teach you the words in context that are easy to remember, and you can easily teach those words to your students. So movies, they not only teach this thing, when you teach, you want to teach something, that how to speak that, and conversational practice, then show them English movie. They will learn, they will have the first-hand experience out of that. So teaching grammar, again with the help of the movies, one can teach grammar as well, like sentence construction, use of verbs, how to just give accent to, or along with pronunciation, along with punctuation marks, where to stop, how much to stop, how to express a full stop or a comma. So all these things can be learned by teaching grammar also. The coming video will show you, is a very good example how to teach English through movies.
What time is it?
It's just after 8.
Oh no.
Don't worry.
Do I look good?
You look terrific. Now, tell me about this date. Will you have a nice little table for two?
I think Chan is also asking two of his friends.
Oh, the more the merrier. What will you eat?
It's an Indian restaurant. I'll probably order a curry.
Delicious. I adore Indian cooking.
Do you? Do you recommend I try anything special?
Why don't you try a biryani?
What is a biryani exactly?
It's a fabulous rice dish. It's a bit similar to your Spanish paella.
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm. And will you have something to drink?
I'd like some wine tonight.
Do you like white or red wine?
It depends on the curry.
Very sensible. Now, don't drink too much.
No, I won't. I'll only have 1 or 2 glasses. Oh, I'm nervous for the time.
Don't be nervous about the time. You have loads of time. Let's see. Oh, my heavens, 8:10.
I'm going to be late.
No, you're not. I will call the very nice minicab, and he will be here in no time. Hello? Yes, good evening. Yes, this is Agatha Johnson here. Fine, thank you. How are you? Glad to hear it. Yes. Can you send one of your best drivers? That's right. Chesworth Gardens, number 7. Ask him to ring the bell. How long will it be? Okay, thanks. Good evening.
How long will it be?
She says the cab will be here in 5 minutes.
Okay.
You look like a model.
Thanks. How much do you think the cab fare will be?
Probably around 10 quid.
Quid?
Oh, pounds. Do you have enough money with you?
Yes, thanks.
Good. Oh, there he is now.
Okay. Bye. See you.
Night, night. Have a good time.
Now you have learned the language teaching methods through this movie, and various kind of sentences are being used by these characters. You have seen that they are giving you various examples. So this is another way how you can use English videos for your students. Thank you for visiting EPG Pathshala.